Hey everybody, this is Robert Templeton with the My Father Said podcast, and today somebody is watching you. We have with us today Jerry Buchleitner with Buchleitner Investigative Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Kelly Burnside with Burnside Law Firm right here in West Columbia. Life can bring unexpected challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. From personal injury to workers' comp to probate, I'm here to help you protect what's most important. Give us a call at 803-619-5430 or visit burnsidelawyer.com to learn more. And just remember, if you slip and fall, give Kelly a call.
Hey everybody, it's Robert here today. Without Ryan, you may notice there's only two of us sitting around the table instead of three. Ryan, he bailed out on us this morning. He called in and said something about he wasn't feeling good. His tummy was hurting. His head was throbbing. We just think he wanted to lay out of work. But that happens, But anyway, we are glad to have today with us Jerry Buchleitner. Jerry is a private investigator with Buchleitner Investigative Services. Now, you might say, great day, this is a podcast on faith, family, and finance. What in the world are we doing with a private investigator on here? What are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about, seeing spouses running to hotel rooms and coming out the following morning and saying, well, we were just doing book work? I mean, are we going to talk about things like that? Or are we going to talk about, hey, I've been following this murderer around and we've got that? Nah, not really. That's not what we're going to talk. There's no telling where we're going to go with this, actually, to be honest with you. But basically, the reason we wanted to get Jerry involved here today is simply because over time, we have found that sometimes our clients fall victim to some sort of scam. We've all received those emails of some rich prince over on the other side of the world who says, hey, you are eligible to receive X number of dollars. All we need you to do is send us X number of dollars so we can send you back more X number of dollars. And I know that sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud, but the reason those emails come is because people fall for them things. So that's why they happen. And, I think back, to times where I've had some conversations with clients and one particular client in particular called up one day and said her bank had been hacked, and she was worried to death because in a span of just a couple of hours, she was cleaned out in her bank. And she was worried about her accounts here. Now, thankfully and gratefully, we have all kinds of security measures here to try to prevent fraud. But she did the right thing by calling us. We were able to kind of help her and assist her to, shut down the fraud as it was happening. I don't know if she ever got any money back from that because it scared her so much. I think she took all of her money and buried it in a jar in her backyard. The problem with that is if she ever loses her mind, she won't know where her money's at. But hey, those things happen. But anyhow, having said all of that, you see my guest here to my right shoulder. Jerry is, as I mentioned, he's a private investigator. Jerry, won't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
And where you come from, who you are, what you do, what your specialty is, and how many extramarital affairs have you found, and that kind of
Sure.
stuff.
Well, first of all, thank you, Robert, for having me here today. I appreciate it. I'm Jerry Buchleitner. I was born in a small town outside of Pittsburgh, probably about an hour east of it, and I'm going to mention it. Shout out to Ligonier, Pennsylvania. And in 1987, a job hire brought me down here. And I raised my family. I have a son and a daughter. And I've been through, way back when, my first job was in a grocery store business. And I was loss prevention and promoted from a district level to a regional. And then I had the opportunity to go into federal government work. I've done background investigations for the military and other federal positions for the Office of Personnel Management. I did that for a number of years. They had me assigned to different military bases besides Fort Jackson, and I'd spend some time there and talk to the soldiers and do their review their background and make a report and send it to OPM. OPM would then issue the clearance, whether it's confidential, secret, or top secret. So from that point, I went into managing a team. Locally, it was in Chapin, General Information Services. I used to manage a team of Walmart associates doing background checks for Walmart. And that was our biggest client at the time. And from there, I decided to go into business for myself. So with the experience I have, I went ahead and applied to SLED and received my private investigator license. And since then, I've been into all kinds of work. I've done contract work for accounting firms. I've done money laundering review, all on computer, all remote. Also, I do the extramarital affairs. I do background checks.
Did you just say you have extramarital affairs?
Oh, no, I've done extramarital affairs like surveillance.
Oh, okay. I just want to clarify
Yes, sir.
that because I'm sure your wife would be listening.
Oh,
to this.
no, she's listening. She knows me. She knows
all
I'm
right.
cool.
Just want to make
I'm
sure.
cool. So, yeah, anyhow, but not many of those, but I'm mainly into working on a computer. I'm digging in and finding what I need to find.
Well, the important question I think our listeners want to know right off the bat is you said you're just right outside of Pittsburgh.
I was. That's where I was born and raised. Yes, sir.
So what we need to know is it Phillies or Pirates?
Oh, I'm Pirates, Steelers, Penguins.
I got you. So you're right there.
I'm right there.
Yeah.
Die hard. Matter of fact, my first game I ever attended was with my dad and brother, and it was the Immaculate Reception game.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I remember watching that game on television.
Yeah.
Raiders, Steelers.
Raiders and Steelers.
I think that ball touched the ground. I think it touched the ground.
You know, the problem with that is when the ball got deflected, I looked down and I missed it. But my dad saw it. And he said, Franco Harris caught the ball. And the stadium went crazy. And people back then, you can run out into the field.
Yeah.
And my brother and I wanted to go out there, and he goes, nope, you stay right here. I was like 14 at the time. But he said, no, I'll never find you. You stay right here. So it was just a crazy time.
You'd have been on a football field, 100 yards.
I know.
I know. Great day. As long as you
Yeah.
didn't leave the field, you'd have been fine.
I know. But as from a dad's point of view,
Yeah.
I can
I
understand.
became a huge Oakland Raiders fan from that one game.
I'm sorry.
No, the snake, oh my gosh, it was just,
Yeah.
how can you not pull for a team with a quarterback nicknamed the Snake?
Yeah, I respected the guy, but no, I love to see us beat him. We played him a lot in the 70s, but
That was like, that's what turned me on to football is
I'll bet.
that
Was it?
game, that rivalry. That was the very first football game I can remember really watching.
I'll be darned. Yeah. That's great. That's great.
I think that game on a Saturday?
The 23rd of December, it might have been.
Because I remember my dad coming home that day, and I was parked in front of the television watching it, and he looked at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Daddy," I said, "Man, this was a great game." I didn't understand football, but I said, "This was a great game. These guys are going at it." The way the television just made them look,
made them look
manly.
manly.
They didn't make
sure.
them look so clean and pristine like they do today.
Right.
It
But
just-
I think after our podcast, I could probably talk you into becoming a Steeler fan.
No, I doubt that.
Oh, darn it. I thought
My
I'd try.
daughter-in-law is a Steeler fan, and
There you go.
And well, we love her. Yeah, we love her.
Absolutely.
It's just the way it is.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
Okay.
that's not what today's podcast is about. So, Jerry,
Yeah.
Scams.
Right.
Why do people, in your estimation, from the people you have dealt with over time, why are people so susceptible to falling for known scams? I want to talk about known scams to begin with.
Yeah, it's, in my opinion, I think it's trust, and it's how well the fraudster comes across. I'm going to give you a story. back when I first came out into the business world, the computers came of age, and I worked for that grocery store in loss prevention. And there was a caller that knew like Western Union, like the back of her hand. And a call would come into a store, they'd get the bookkeeper to open up the register, get on the screen, and they took her through every screen verbatim. And they said, we had a computer glitch at Western Union. There was a $5,000 Western Union that didn't send. We need you to get on the computer and resend it. Oh, okay. Sounded very, very trustworthy. And she got on and resent this to, I believe that first one I ever learned about went all the way to New Mexico. Of course, it was near the Mexican border. I'm assuming that's where the money ended up. But as soon as it was sent, it was picked up within minutes at a convenience store in that state. So once we found out about that, we found out that more stores in the area got calls. Might not have been from the same caller, but they did the same thing. They were taken through the screens and they sent thousands of dollars out there. And that was my first experience with scamming. So we had to alert the stores to say, hey, if somebody calls and they pose as a Western Union operator and they need you to do anything online, hang up. Don't do it. And that goes clear to today because the people out here that are on their computer screens, like these bookkeepers, okay, are going to get a call or an email, and it's going to look authentic. It's going to look real authentic. The caller's going to sound like they're experts at what they do. The bottom line is that I could talk about is you never should give any of your personal information out because they're never going to ask for it. If it's a legitimate call from a bank, let's say, they're never going to ask you for, by the way, we had a computer problem. I need your name, your social security number, your address, your phone number, and try and get all your information. Even if they send an email out that looks authentic, they're never going to ask for that. So that's the point to always remember is if you get an email or a call and they want your personal information, just ask them, look, I'm going to verify some things, ma'am or sir. I'm going to hang up. Maybe I'll call you back. Let me go check on stuff. And then you can call that bank or that other entity and find out, no, we don't need that information. We would never do that. So that's one way to prevent being a victim of that.
Well, but I guess here we are, we're in the year 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has either been an almost victim of a scam, has been a victim of a scam. Everybody knows someone who has been a victim of a scam. How are we today still falling for the obvious things like the people who's calling you should already have your information. They shouldn't have to ask you for it, even if they're saying, well, we need you to verify this. Well, you called me. You've got my information.
Right.
Why do I need to verify what you already have?
Right.
I answered the phone that you dialed. Why do people today, in your estimation, why are they so susceptible to falling prey to scammers in that type of process?
Well, like I said before, in my opinion, it's trust. I mean, it's so convincing to them, even if they've seen dozens of emails and letters and calls and all kinds of contact about, we will never ask you for this information, don't give it out, and they still do it. It's a combination of they're being trustworthy. Number two, the caller sounds so real that it just overrides what they've learned or what they thought they knew.
Can you define real? You say this caller sounds so real. You mean not AI, or what do you mean?
Not AI. Sometimes it's AI, and that sounds convincing. Now, that's a whole new ball of wax. But they sound, their voice just sounds like they're professional. It's a professional sounding voice. They're very fluent in what they don't go, excuse me, let me see, I need this information. They're like boom, 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 boom. They probably rehearsed it dozens of times before they make that call to a person to fraud them. And the person's just mesmerized. I've had people tell me that, like going back to the bookkeepers, they'd say, Mr. Buchleitner, that person sounded so real. I mean, I can't believe it. So, that's the only thing I'm drawing on. I mean, because we know that if it happens to us, we'll immediately hang up and we'd know it's fraud.
No, let me share with you. Let me share with you a one that attempted to happen to me last fall.
Oh, okay.
So last fall, my wife and I went to a concert. It was crazy how all this it happened at the same time, and I'm still trying to figure out how it happened at the same time. My wife and I went to a concert, an artist that I enjoy his music. He's not mainstream, but it's Lyle Lovett.
Oh,
right?
yeah, okay.
And
Sure.
he was at the Township.
Uh-huh.
Well, immediately after that Township concert, my wife and I go down to the beach, and we stay at the beach, and I get a text message. And I've still got them on my telephone, as a matter of fact. And it's a video of Lyle Lovett. Hey, Robert, how are you doing? And did you enjoy my show the other night? And I'm thinking, that's Lyle Lovett. And I'm thinking, how did he get my phone number? How did he know I was at his show? That sort of thing. And then I started responding back to it, texting. I was texting back and forth because for an instant, I
was just going to ask you, what made you do that?
Well, it's Lyle Lovett.
There you go.
And I
Lord
said,
in.
I jumped on it. I was doing this right here. And then Lyle Lovett started asking me how my family was doing. And I'm thinking, Lyle Lovett don't know my family. And then he said something else, and I responded to something else. And then he had to get off the phone because he had to go get on stage to play. His messages would always come at night.
Right.
All right?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
and so I finally said on it, I say, hey, look, you know what? I'd love to carry on this conversation with you. Give me a phone call. Since you've got my number, call me. Of course, that ended it.
Yep.
And I told my son about it, my oldest son, and he said, Daddy, I know you did not give them no information. I said, no, I didn't give them any information, but for a split instant, because I had just seen him, and then a week later, I get a text message from Lyle Lovett, and I'm thinking, this is incredible. Mm-hmm. I'm meeting one of my musical heroes here right over and for just a moment, I almost lost way of my senses.
And that's the thing. That's why people get scammed. There, for just that moment, you knew enough to stop it, and other people get lured in like that. And especially, I mean, you idolized Lyle Lovett. I mean, it could be something else where they're lured in by, oh, okay, I think I heard about that bank having these glitches, and they start thinking about and putting in their mind that other things have happened, or they saw it on the internet or on TV, so it must be real.
Yeah. But
They get sucked in.
But what I'm yet to figure out is how did whoever called know that I was just at a Lyle Lovett concert?
See, that's the thing.
Literally just at the concert.
It could be anybody that has access to people that attended there. It could have been somebody there. It could be somebody that works at the venue. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's any number of things that could have caused that call to come to you. The other thing, did it seem like AI when you got it? Okay.
Yeah, after reviewing in my mind, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he or she, whoever sent that to you, may have obtained names of people attending the concert somehow. They had AI developed with Lyle Lovett playing the song or talking, however it came across to you, ready to go. So Robert Templeton gets it, Mary Jane Doe gets it. They send it out in bulk just to see what's going to happen. And they were prepared. They were prepared to do what they did to you and other
now
people.
I'm even more disappointed.
Yeah.
Lyle Lovett sent it to other people in addition to me. I'm really upset now.
It wasn't really Lyle. I'm sorry.
So let me tell you another one that has happened, and this is to a neighbor of mine. And this is the one where I really just scratched my head. So this neighbor of mine, he's challenged, I guess, to a degree.
Okay.
Not the brightest bulb in the box, I guess is the best way to say it. Not the most handsome looking fella you'd ever see. All right.
Okay. All right.
Well, he gets this solicitation from this very, very, very attractive lady from somewhere else in the country. She owns a company. She gets to talking to him. She wants to come over and meet him.
Mm-hmm.
She sends her picture.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to come over and meet him. And to make the meeting even more, she wants to make him the CEO of her company.
Mm.
Could he send her the money for the plane ticket for her to come from California to South Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
This clown sent her the money.
Okay. How did she want the money? Was it what? Was it?
I don't
wired?
know.
You don't know that part?
I don't know because what
fine.
we were trying to figure out. It's like one of my other neighbors asked him when he saw the picture of her. He said to him, he said, "Did you send her a picture of you?" Because that would be oil and water.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
I mean,
right.
somebody that attractive. That just wouldn't work. I mean, them.
Yeah.
So, but again, this guy, I don't know, the Lonely Hearts Club, so desperate for affection that someone with a female voice sends a picture, and I hear these things. She looked attractive in that picture, which made me think, well, she would have access to money. She's a CE. She owns a company. Mm-hmm, she would obviously have money, but she needs him to send money for an airline ticket. And I'm thinking, this 1 + 1's not adding up to 2 here.
You're right.
All right.
You're right.
But yet he fell for it.
And that happens. That process there, that whoever that person was, it's called catfishing. And it's just like you reeling in a cat, when you're fishing, like she did. If it's a she, okay, that could have been a man that would have got the money. Oh yeah, you never know.
It was a very attractive man.
Well, even if that picture,
yeah.
It could be a picture of a beautiful woman that he's using. I mean, the bottom line is whether it's a male or a female, they try to do exactly what happened to that man, and he sent money. One of the kickers of it is these people that are doing this, and they could do it on LinkedIn or Facebook. All of a sudden, they see you on social media and they read your background. Like I'll use my profession. They might go, "Jerry, hey, you're a PI. Oh my God, I've never met a PI before. That sounds like such an interesting job." And they try to engage you. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you'll see their picture on LinkedIn and it's a beautiful girl. Well, it could be some guy in Iowa. I mean, so what they're doing is wanting you to engage with them. Oh, yeah, I am a PI, and then all of a sudden down the road after a lengthy conversation, it doesn't have to be the same day. This could go on for many, many days. Then they ask for money. I want to come see you. I'm lonely. I just came from another country. I'm working out in San Francisco. They're never in South Carolina or North Carolina. It's always way far away because they want you to send money so they can fly in to see you. And I'd love to meet you, blah, blah, blah. So if they got somebody to that point and get them, they're always going to ask for a couple of things. You could send it in the form of gift cards. Mm-hmm. You could send it a wire transfer, okay? And however you want to do it in that regard, I'll be glad to fly into Columbia and meet you at Tuesday the 5th at 12:30. And I've had people tell me they've gone as far as going to the Columbia airport and no one's there, So it's all fraud. So
hi, I'm Ashley Banks with Allstate right here in Columbia. Life can be unpredictable, but your insurance doesn't have to be. My team and I help protect what matters most, your family, your home, and your future with coverage that fits your life and your budget. Give us a call at 803-769-0051 and let's make sure you're in good hands.
That's how they lure people in. Once again, it's called catfishing, romancing, however you want to term it. But that's their forte, is convincing somebody, engaging them, and getting it. Now, sometimes people will catch on and stop it and not send money. and they'll just disconnect from that person. But if somebody goes all the way and sends money, all of a sudden that person that got the money disappears. You can't find them on the internet and LinkedIn or Facebook. They go away, and that person realizes, oh my God, I've been scammed at that point, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
now,
an example.
So sometimes with the advent of cryptocurrencies, we don't advise on cryptocurrency here because cryptocurrency is not a registered investment. So
True.
It's what it says, it's currency. But I hear a lot and I read a lot about how one of the hesitancies on cryptocurrencies is the ability for scammers to be able to easily use the exchanges to defraud individuals. Do you know anything about that or have any experience in that?
Not much on the crypto, but I do know this. A lot of banks and financial institutions do not allow crypto transactions, period. They don't want anything to do with them. And, I'm not here to tell you if it's a good or bad investment. I mean, that person out there would have to do their own research. But it's certainly an avenue for fraud. That's another form of money, supposedly, that people that are in these scams like phishing or romancing, catfishing, that they try to get is crypto. Okay, maybe not gift cards, maybe not a wire transfer, but I understand you have, you like crypto. Oh yeah, I do. I'm doing a lot of trade. Send me X amount of dollars in crypto if you would, and I'll come see you. So that's my extent of that. The research I've done for financial institutions on the computer, the crypto will see it, but it's mainly if you find it, tell us, because they're not allowed to transact. And that's basically all that I get involved with that is, hey, here's some crypto transactions, FYI. Then they warn the customer, you can't do it anymore. We'll defund you or whatever, or kick you out as a customer, so to speak. And they give them one chance to stop it.
I got you.
So, yeah.
So let's say, unfortunately, someone has become a victim of a scam.
Okay.
And they have just realized it. They have just discovered that they have become a victim of a scam. What should they do then?
Well, the first thing, depends on what type of scam it is. The first thing that I would recommend is there's a government website, ftc.gov, Federal Trade Commission. Okay, report it. It doesn't hurt to file a local police report. Get it out there to law enforcement and make people aware of it. And that's the main thing you can do. Don't sit there and think, oh, man, I'm going to look stupid if I call the police. Or, man, if I go on the internet and go to a federal entity, I'm going to get investigated. Do it, because they need to know. And there's avenues like that. There's other avenues like people that especially if it's like a call. We've had other examples of a fraud where someone will call, like let's say they call me and they're like, hey, I'm your brother and I just got arrested. Jerry. I need your money. Send me gift cards or wire me some money, man. I got to get out of jail. And it could be an AI voice and it could sound just like my brother. So the main thing is to, number one, you should know, and I've told a lot of people this, is if it's a family type situation, come up with a secret word, okay? So if I ever got that call, I'd say, hey, Tom, I'm sorry that happened to you. What's our secret code word? And the person would go, what? What's our secret code word? Well, you know what the fraudster's going to do. Click. They're going to hang up. So that might be a good tip is in that regard is to, if you're a family, come up with a secret code should that ever happen to anybody and they get a call like that, any type of fraud, and it's some other relative, a sibling, a grandparent, a mother, a father, posing as and calling you. And that nips it in the bud right there, because if a fraudster immediately realizes they've been had, they're gone. So
okay, so you say go to FTC.gov.
That's the Federal Trade Commission.
Yeah.
And they there's a report on there that if even if you weren't a victim, like let's say there was an attempt and you fell for it, but you didn't send them money and you cut it off, report it. And especially if it's a phone call, there's going to be some kind of phone number, hopefully, that shows up. You're not going to recognize it. That would go on the report. And what they would try to do is track. Sometimes these calls are coming in from overseas. They're able to track it, because if more people report it, then they have a substantial amount of information to go on, the federal government, especially if an event happens across state lines, then the federal government has to get involved. It's a federal issue. So, FTC, in case that call or email sent from any other state, I mean, it could come from as close as North Carolina. If it comes from North Carolina to me and it's fraud, it's federal, because they cross state lines with that information.
Yeah. So now, of the people who fall victim to scam, is there any kind of data or statistics out there that shares with us who got something back?
You know what?
Is
if there is
5% get money back? Or?
Yeah. Robert, I believe if someone wants to know that and research it, most of you probably have heard of ChatGPT, okay, or some other source like that, where you could type that in and you could get that information. I'm almost sure, and you can word it such that, on this type of scam, what percentage of people in 2025 have, got their money returned or whatever, and it should give you some information. I mean, that's what I would recommend, is to use something like ChatGPT to get it.
Now,
because it's out there.
Let's go on the other side of this. Based on your experience, these scammers that do these scams, do they ever get caught?
That's something I'd say yes. I don't know how frequently, because if I report it or a number of people report it, law enforcement doesn't necessarily have to get back to you, okay, or let you know that they've caught it, okay? And I'll give you a personal example where I caught something, and I was lucky because I did hear they were caught. And all of a sudden, I'm checking my bank account every day, and there were purchases at a Home Depot in Aiken. And I'm like, I asked my wife, I said, have you been to Aiken yesterday? No, I don't go to Aiken. And I'm like, well, I wasn't there. And I'm like, oh boy. So I called my bank and I said, this isn't me. So did all the reporting. And about a couple months later, an investigator in Georgia calls me and says, are you so-and-so? Yes, I am. You filed a report about transactions at a Home Depot. And of course they got my information I had in my wallet because it wasn't protected at the time. And they got my debit card information, and they bought all kinds of tools and power tools and stuff. So I wasn't liable for it because I reported it immediately. So this person that called me in law enforcement said that we found out who did this, and I just thought I'd give you a call. And I'm like, that's great. Thanks for calling, because you normally don't get a call like this. He goes, yeah, he was unfortunately in our military, on a military base, and he's been arrested. I was like, okay. So apparently they were doing stuff from a military base. But please, I mean, that's just a rare example. I mean, our military, this had nothing to do with bad military people. I'm like 99.9%. I did security clearance background, so there's a ton of good people. It just so happened this person decided to go the wrong side of the fence, and do the frauding, and it ended up getting caught. So,
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this question. Kind of go a little bit of levity here from the direction we're in. Without you breaking any confidences or anything like that, would you be a private investigator has been the most bizarre thing you've ever had to investigate as a private investigator?
It's a good question. I don't know, bizarre. I haven't really had anything really bizarre, but I think some interesting things is when I did workers' comp investigations, I'd have people that will say they have a rotator cuff problem and they're getting paid for that. And I'll go, the insurance company will want me to do a surveillance. So I'll watch them. And I had one particular individual that went out, and he was into landscaping with his son. And they had went to a site of a private residence, and there was already a huge tree cut down into pieces. And him and his son were picking up these huge pieces of log and throwing them on the back of the truck. And it was his right shoulder, and he's doing this. And the whole time I've got him on video. Another time I had a person had a shoulder injury, and he went to a fishing store, and he bought some tarp for his boat. You know how heavy tarps are. So he was picking up a tarp and throwing it up into the back of his truck. So he was freely using his arm, and I'd capture all that on my camcorder or video or equipment, and I'd send that in via the internet to the insurance company. Now, that's another example where I'm not at liberty, unless they wanted to know what happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? But anyhow, those are some examples.
So as I guess I'm going to use the word registered, licensed private investigator, is there anything that you have not yet investigated that you would love to get that call to go investigate?
Actually, I never thought about that. I never thought about like, gee, I wish I could do this and get a call about that. I guess I'm so busy. I just take it one day at a time, get all the facts I can about whatever I'm into. And sometimes it leads me to these wild stories and wild events. So, yeah. But I haven't sat at home at night and thought about, boy, I'd love to get something like this or that. And I don't do that.
Yeah, see, I think that's where my mind would go.
Is that right?
My mind would go like, man, I wish somebody would call me to investigate XYZ or something like that. I just think that I've always said that if I hadn't have gotten married, there's two career paths that I would have tried to pursue if I had not have gotten married. Because, decisions you make kind of affect your direction for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
One of them would have been to try to make it as a country music singer.
Oh, okay.
That would have been one. The other
you could
one,
perform with Lyle Lovett, maybe. I don't know.
I need to see him anyway, trying to scam me.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the other one would have been private investigating.
Okay.
I have always found that to be pretty interesting, to go out, But my idea of private investigating is solving mysteries. Would be.
Well, I have a mystery. I mean, I've been called to find family members that they can't ever find. And I found one time. And this woman, she couldn't have thanked me enough. And that was so rewarding to me. I mean, I didn't think I was going to, and I did. And it was the person they were trying to get in touch with. Not because they were in trouble. It's just that she hadn't it was a woman who was looking for a brother and found them. And I found them, and he wasn't near where she lived, but she couldn't be more happier because she wanted to reconnect with him because of the other family situations growing up and worried about him and hadn't seen him for years and years. So I'll get a call like that too. So,
good deal. All right.
Yeah.
Well, as we get ready to wrap this up, let me ask this question. Is there anything from the scam standpoint that you would want to bring to our listeners today that we didn't touch on that you think would be important for them to know?
And I'm just going to tell the viewership, that federal agencies, number one, they never demand anything, especially if the call or the email that you get from that government entity wants payment. Okay, gee, you had a traffic ticket and you haven't paid for years and years. Well, first of all, you're going to know, I paid all my traffic tickets. That's a red flag. I mean, I know this can't be me. So the first thing you do is call the entity and call the government agency. Like if it's Lexington Police Department, for example, and hey, I got this call on an unpaid traffic ticket. Oh yeah, that's fraud. That's not for you. You could do that. But if they want payment, once again, it's going to be a wire transfer, a gift card, crypto, some kind of weird form of payment. So that's a huge red flag. You can verify a phone number you got on a .gov site. You can go to any official .gov sites and research a phone number that might show up on your phone that you got the call from. And don't be afraid to hang up. I mean, just because they're posing as police, just say, look, I'm in the middle of something, sir. I'll be right back with you. Let me call you back. And there's no crime in doing that. Hang up, check that number. You could check it online and see if it's legit, or like I said before, you call that agency and verify it. Okay. Don't ever give your personal data. That's if it's a scam, that's what they're wanting. And again, report it to the FTC. They'd want to know. And there's actually hotlines for police departments and those types of things, and that respective agency's hotline needs to know. So, that's another thing. And if you do fall for the scam, one thing else I try to tell people is to, with your credit reports, you can freeze them, okay, at any time. So that way they can't get to your credit card numbers, or go that route. Mm-hmm. So you might want to freeze your card. I do it. And I tell you what, it's easy to unfreeze it. Like if I went to buy a car and they have to verify my credit, I can unfreeze it online real quick, so to allow that, respectable entity to do their credit check and then refreeze it again. So it's not something you might want to do, but I would recommend it. That's as far as like credit cards being frauded with credit cards. Freeze all your cards. You can go to Experian, the other two agencies, and freeze them individually on those credit card companies. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to figure out how to ask, because I was formulating this question in my mind while you were talking. I wasn't planning on asking this, but as you were talking, it kind of hopped in there. I'm going to ask a series of questions, and I just want your answer is either yes or no.
Okay.
Okay. And this is, I'm on a phone call. Somebody has reached out to me. And this is about, the question is I'm going to call off some things, and this is going to be, have I given them too much information? All right?
Okay.
And just
okay.
yes or no. Mm-hmm. So they call me up. They want to verify the spelling of my name. Too much information or not?
No.
No? Okay. No. They want my address.
I wouldn't give it.
All right, so that's a yes then. That's too much information.
Yes.
Okay. Verify my phone number that they just dialed.
Yeah, it's too much. That's no. Don't give it.
Okay. Social security number.
No, definitely not.
Date of birth.
Nope.
Checking account information.
No, sir.
Name of the bank.
No, sir. Mm-mm.
My spouse's name.
I wouldn't give that. No.
Mm-mm. So essentially, you don't give anything.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good place to be. All right. Well, let me ask this question. A couple things. Everybody out there in podcast land, as I mentioned earlier, has either been an attempted victim of scam or has been a victim of scam, maybe publicly known, maybe not publicly known, or everybody knows somebody who has been a victim of scam. You talked today about how to identify it, some do's and some don'ts, some common scams that are done. Now, what if somebody wanted to hire you and utilize your services? How would they go about reaching out to you?
Okay. First thing, I have a website. It's SCBI Services, scbiservices.com. I have a phone number on that website. So if you go to the website, you'll be able to get my phone number and call me. I mean, I'll be able to discuss anything with you. If I could help you or not, I'll let you know. Okay. Discuss anything you wish, your concerns. A lot of times I just give out free advice. I mean, I'm here to help the person any
good
way I
deal.
can. Yes, sir.
All right, one final question. This question is something that we ask all of our first-time guests. And since the name of our podcast is My Father Said, it gives the thought that, hey, you know what? Our dads raised us. Our dads taught us right from wrong. And along that way, our dads have given us some advice somewhere along there. Your father, what would you say would be a valuable piece of advice that your father put inside of you and shared with you as you were coming along in your maturing years?
I'd have to say to treat people with respect. He said, always do that. You can never go wrong if you do that, because the respect will usually, if it's a good person, return to you. And always be respectful. That's the first thing that hit me is in growing up in Ligonier, Pennsylvania, as a young child and seeing him in my formative years there, he lived that. He lectured at church. He did a lot for us. He was always there. He worked hard. And his dealings with people in that town was respectful, because if you mention his name in that town, he was top notch. He was a good man. So I thank him for it.
That's good. I'm glad he gave you a good example to follow. All right, everybody. This has been the My Father Said podcast today. We were grateful to have Jerry here with us today. I'm going to try it again. Jerry Buchleitner. If you see how his last name is spelled,
You'd never spell it.
You would
right.
not say it like that. But Jerry, it's been fun having you today. Very
you.
informative. We've never
Thank
had
you.
anyone on here to discuss scams.
Gotcha.
And,
Yeah, I'm glad I could be a part of it, Robert. Thanks
yeah.
for the invite.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
so
sir.
glad to have you. So, guys, if you will, say a prayer for Ryan that he gets to feeling better, be back soon, so that myself, his father, does not have to host this. I could just be over here and throw in some questions every now and then. So I'm really out of my comfort zone today as well. But this is Jerry. I'm Robert. This is the My Father Said podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
The opinions voiced in this video are for general information only and are not specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. Securities offered through LPL Financial, number FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Good Life Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. The Templeton Group and Good Life Advisors, LLC, are separate entities from LPL Financial.